Hey, speaking of Doc, though, you did have somebody to talk about today.
Yes, I do.
This is our Italian-American culture coming October, but we're going to premature it. And you have an Italian to tell us about.
You want me to do it now?
Yeah, go ahead. Why
Well,
not?
I was going to mention Amadeo Giannini. Now, you're not going to find this guy in your history book, but you may have seen something about him in a movie, okay? Because we were talking about it earlier, and I forget the title of the movie, but it was something madness. But here's what happened. In 1904, in San Francisco, Amadeo opens a bank, and the bank is called the Bank of Italy.
Banca Italia.
Now,
Yeah.
2 years later, in 1906, there was the San Francisco earthquake and fire in predominantly North Branch. Now, North Branch at that time was where some of the Italians were starting to come to America in the 1900s, and they were in that portion of San Francisco. So that's why the name of the bank is the Bank of Italy.
California, huh?
Right? And so what ends up happening, people are starting to loot. They're looting, they're stealing. So Amadeo takes all the money out of the bank. He gets a garbage truck. He puts the money in the garbage truck underneath the garbage. He waits for everything to cool down. And then what he does is he sets up a desk outside the bank. Now, one of the reasons why he does this is that the only people who could get a loan from a bank at that time, you had to be wealthy. You had to be wealthy. The other reason that they would lend money is if you spoke English properly. Because if you didn't speak English properly, you were not considered white.
Wow.
You were considered something else. So now we have an Italian neighborhood that's been destroyed by fire, and they won't lend money to these people because they're common workers. They're, as far as the banks are concerned, they can't pay back. So Amadeo Giannini puts his desk outside, and he starts lending money to these people so that they can rebuild on a handshake.
That's where
The first loan shark.
first loan shark. Yeah.
On a hand, the first loan shark
yeah.
Loan shark.
was,
Oh, there's somebody else before him.
yeah, he was a Jewish fella in the Merchant of Venice. But that's
Wow, that's a story.
right. But at any rate, he starts lending money with a handshake. Within a short period of time, he now has the largest number of banks in that area, and then in California.
Bank of America.
By 1945, right, he owns the largest bank in the United States and maybe even outside the United States. He has a really large bank with over 400 or 500 branches all over the place.
And eventually
Now in
becomes-
1930, he changes the name of the bank. He changes the name of the bank, and it's funny because if you walk into this bank today and you ask a teller if they know
The guy's
how the bank,
Oh.
what is the name of the bank on their charter, they don't know. And the name of that bank is the Bank of America. He changed the name in 1930. By 1945, it was the largest bank in the country. But today,
course.
if you look up the charter for Bank of America, it says the Bank of Italy.
Wow.
And so that's my little
Another
addition. today.
fabulous.
Another educational view
Oh,
from
my
the doc
God.
about Italian culture, Italian history, actually. And we're going to keep going with that. It's been a success for our show. We've been teaching everybody. This is the number one thing we try to do on this show is to remember our culture, remember our history, and to teach the younger generation to continue to carry on the traditions and remember how this country got started and the Italians that made it happen. I'm sure there's other nationalities that do the same, and we do follow our culture, and that's what we do here.
Yeah, but they don't know how to make the gravy.
That's right.
It's sauce.
But we're going to go to the
Attaboy.
Doc's
Gravy.
video, and then we're going to play our ads, and we're going to come back with our phone caller. And but right now, Matt 30, 40? No,
Matt 25. Matt 25. Wait, yeah, no, I'm forgetting. Matt 25 40.
Matt 25, 40. Get the book. It's coming out, and the movie will be out soon. Play it now.
An unconscious man with memory loss under a pile of trash has an out-of-body experience. He begins by following a homeless man that leads him to follow several people, a bird and a dog, until he discovers his partner is having him killed while a woman is praying for his life. He needs the aid of 2 homicide detectives to save him. During his following and the need for physical salvation, he learns the real purpose of being a follower and a higher form of salvation. Matt 2540 by Anthony F. Raimondo.